Forget everything you've been told about seeking comfort. I mean, it's true, right? Human beings are biologically wired to take the path of least resistance. We naturally just want the easiest route, the softest chair, the absolute quickest fix. But look, we are bypassing the usual pleasantries today because this explainer is going to completely rewire how you view difficulty and pain. Seriously, if you've been waiting for a sign to stop making excuses, to stop letting your natural inclination for comfort ruin your potential, this is it. Let's get into it. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Just take a second to let that sink in. Those iconic words from John F. Kennedy actually anchor the entire central theme of the source material we're breaking down today. Because the truth is, undeniable growth comes exclusively from rejecting comfort and actively stepping into what is difficult. It's the friction that creates the fire.
So I want you to consider this for a second. What if hardship isn't the obstacle in your way? What if hardship is the actual destination? Yeah, that is a massive paradigm-shifting question. We've been so heavily conditioned by perfectly curated highlight reels and overnight success stories to believe that success is supposed to feel, well, easy and effortless. But demanding that life be easy, that is exactly what's holding you back from achieving anything of real substance.
All right, let's jump right into section 1, the illusion of easy.
Choosing what is easy actually makes your life incredibly hard in the long run. Think about it. When you choose the easy path, playing the volunteer victim, constantly complaining about your circumstances, or getting bitter about what others have, your daily existence just turns into this miserable grind. You end up completely trapped in your own negativity. But when you choose the hard path, waking up early, showing up every single day, even when you're totally exhausted, prospecting and working with this intense spirit of expectation, that consistency is what finally forces an opportunity to appear. Yes, the hard path requires a heavy toll up front, but it's literally the only route that actually goes somewhere.
Moving right along to section 2, the alchemy of pain. So many people who aren't where they want to be are endlessly chasing the cheese. They're looking for passion, looking for purpose, just waiting to find something pleasurable to suddenly motivate them to get off the couch. But instead of blindly looking for motivation, you need to realize you have a massive cat of pain right behind you. Maybe your cat is the stress of dodging credit card bills at the end of the month, or maybe it's the terrifying thought of being stuck in your hometown doing the exact same dead-end job 20 years from now. That pain, it can absolutely propel you forward if you just stop ignoring it and start running from the cat. Use that fear, use that urgency.
And this brings us to the true definition of alchemy. It's not about numbing your pain with distractions or looking away from a terrible situation. It's about actively confronting it. It's about sobering up, looking at the metaphorical knife of your circumstances, twisting it in your own heart and saying, I'm going to do something about this. Now, obviously, we aren't talking about literally causing harm. We're talking about utilizing emotional leverage, letting yourself fully feel the sting of your current mediocrity so deeply that staying the same becomes way more painful than putting in the relentless work to change. That is exactly how you shortcut your personal growth. Which brings us to section 3, discipline over motivation. Look, an emotionally immature person relies on fleeting motivation for a one-time effort. Their actions are entirely dictated by how they slept, whether it's raining outside or if they're just feeling it that day. Think about how New Year's resolutions fail spectacularly by mid-February. That happens because people rely purely on the emotional high of a new beginning. But the emotionally mature warrior, they use discipline to execute 1,000 times, regardless of the circumstances. Your emotions dictate your motion. If you lack emotional maturity, you're going to quit the second it stops being fun. You have to use discipline to stack your wins even when things are entirely suboptimal. Trust me, I know what it's like to try and negotiate with your alarm clock at 5 a.m. Discipline is ending that negotiation before it even begins.
All right, section 4, the unfair advantage.
Our sources highlight this incredible scene in the classic movie Lawrence of Arabia. Lawrence lights a match and pinches it out with his bare fingers without so much as a flinch. Another guy watching tries to do the exact same thing, immediately burns himself, drops the match, and yells, "What's the trick?" Lawrence just calmly replies, "The trick is not minding that it hurts." Man, I love that. Success demands that you identify the cost of your ambition, the late nights, the stress, the social sacrifice, and simply pay it without flinching. Listen to me. What does fair have to do with anything? Life isn't fair, and expecting it to be only creates weakness. Life is a testing ground. It's built to make us harder and to constantly test our resolve. When unexpected hardships hit, and believe me, they always do, they absolutely crush people who lack discipline and resilience. Unfairness is actually a necessary trial ground designed to weed out those who are half-assing their lives. Your mentality, your unshakable mindset is your only surviving tool here. If you demand fairness, you're just going to be waiting around forever.
Let's get into Section 5, betting your 24 chips.
Time is the one non-renewable resource we are all playing with. Every single morning you wake up, you're handed exactly 24 chips to play on the roulette table of life. The question is, are you throwing those chips away on endless scrolling and distractions, or are you placing them strategically on the board to build your future?
If you spend 8 of those chips sleeping, which, by the way, you absolutely should to recover properly, you only have 16 left. That's it, 16 chips. How you strategically bet those remaining 16 chips determines every single outcome in your future. You have to actively allocate those chips to the things that strictly align with your ultimate values. Every hour watching television is a chip spent. Every hour in the gym, studying, or building a business is a chip invested. You are the sole manager of your daily casino.
Now, to avoid feeling completely overwhelmed by the sheer amount of work ahead of you, you've got to break down your radical transformation into exact incremental steps. Pick 1 or 2 things to change. Master them completely. Seriously, let that sink in for a second. Master them completely. Then, and only then, pick 1 or 2 more and repeat the process. Yes, it's incredibly hard, but that resistance you feel, that friction, that is the muscle actually growing. If it wasn't difficult, there would be absolutely nothing to force your mind or your body to grow stronger. Finally, we arrive at Section 6, the price of success.
There's this striking anecdote about Kobe Bryant that perfectly captures this ethos. When asked why he stayed in the gym working out intensely immediately after a grueling game while an opposing player watched, he simply said, "I wanted you to know that it doesn't matter how hard you work, I'm willing to work harder." Think about the sheer level of dedication that requires. He stayed late purely to send a psychological message, both to his opponent and to himself. That perfectly illustrates what it truly means to be the absolute hardest worker in the room.
Success is a fundamental exchange. It's an everyday transaction of sweat and hard work for a radically better life. Your chosen arena, whether it's Miami Fitness, your personal business, or your own intellectual growth, is your bank, and it is open every single day for your transactions. You cannot fake a deposit at the bank of discipline. The tellers know when you're shortchanging them. You have to pay your dues in full and make those agonizing deposits every single day to earn your interest.
I need you to let this sink in. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to miracle you into being somebody special. Your current situation, your past failures, the mounting obstacles right in front of you, it is solely on you. It's a heavy realization for sure.
But here is the magnificent flip side to that exact reality. Owning the blame entirely means you also possess the absolute power to unlock a completely new reality. You have the key to step outside the box of your current comfort and step into a world of endless opportunity. This new reality is one where you are not tossed around by the unfairness of life, but rather, you dictate your own terms. You build unshakable resilience, you command respect, and you forge an ironclad mind that handles adversity like it's just another Tuesday. That one goal, that dream, that incredible new reality that you crave so badly, it is going to come with a very heavy price tag of discomfort, sweat, and relentless discipline. The path is laid out right in front of you, and now you know exactly what is required. So what kind of pain are you finally going to choose? Are you willing to pay the price?